And people believe that life is a competition. Take what's mine, get what's mine. Take and get are selfish, they're scarcity, and the real winners in the world are the ones that are giving. They're creating value. And there's so much to be had with that, because velocity means we just keep circulating those dollars because we've exchanged goods, services, and we get wealthier. And when people can understand that life is not a zero-sum game, that business, yes, there are some businesses that are all about competition, but the businesses that are about collaboration can go a lot further and help a lot more people.
You used a great example in Budgeting Sucks where you said, hey, if a Rolex is worth more than $7,500 of value, if that's more valuable to you as an individual, anyone who tells you that you wasted money is simply wrong. And that's it. It's different for every individual. Like a great example of this is like, I'll do coaching calls with people that are trying to free up time for fitness or whatever. And I'm like, they find out that they think I'm wasteful because they find out that I pay for grocery delivery and I refuse to clean my own house, or that I have an Airbnb and I have someone manage it for me and they take 15% off the top. But I run multiple companies from my home. The hour and a half it takes me to go out to the grocery store, I can be more productive in that time than the $3.99 grocery delivery fee, right?
Totally. I mean, it's opportunity cost, right? It's valuing your time. It's basically saying, hey, what do you enjoy and what don't you enjoy? And what's going to, like, here's the thing. This is critical. And this isn't in any of my books yet. This will be in my next book.
Okay.
But part of what prevents people from being wealthy is escapism. And escapism is when we either first sacrifice for someone else, right? Like they sacrifice themselves, because when we sacrifice for others, it's an excuse for us not to be responsible for ourselves. So why aren't we further ahead? Well, I was raising kids. And because I was sacrificing for my kids, I couldn't do X, Y, and Z, right?
Sure.
I sacrificed my health because I was starting a business, right? So it's this excuse that people have where they're giving up something that's important because they're saying something else was urgent. And this is a crux of society. The next thing is, another part of escapism is when we're confronted with something that we have to take real responsibility for, and we have to really value ourselves, it's easy to create false busyness. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm busy because I've got to clean the house and mow the lawn and organize the garage. And I'm busy because this new TV series that I've been waiting for just came out. And I'm busy because, I could just go through the list, right? For me, well, I recognize one of my escapisms was I was listening to sports talk radio in the morning. I didn't even watch sports very often. So like, why am I listening? I'm just doing it because I was being lazy and I didn't want to deal with certain things. And so it's a way to tune out. So what did I do differently? I just confronted the things that were confronting me, and I dealt with it rather than delaying it. We delay so many things that become excuses and that prevent us from wealth, and they actually invite scarcity. So here's another example. Anytime we're not truly ourselves, let's say you ask me a question. I'm like, well, I don't want to disappoint Justin. I'm just gonna tell him part of the story, right? Mm-hmm. So if I do that, I actually just created another actor in my life that now has to live that lie. Right. And the more actors I create, the more I'm a chameleon, the more exhausted I am trying to hold up these false pretenses, because part of it is we just don't know what people are going to think about us. But what they have to understand, everybody understands we're all human beings, and nobody loves someone that's perfect. We love people when they're willing to express their imperfections and be okay with it, because it gives confidence and hope to us. And so escapism is such a big reason why people don't get wealthy, or why they don't do what you do, why they would complain about a $3.99 delivery fee, or they would complain because if they're busy doing that, they have an excuse for why they didn't live up to their potential. But if they go for their potential and don't live up to it, they might only have themselves to blame. But here's the deal. We're all going to live up to our potential. It's just how long it's going to take in this life or the next, right? So I'm like, might as well do it now. And if you just confront these situations, you might find yourself worthy of paying this. I mean, it might be because we heard a parent say, why would you waste your money doing that? Well, it might be a waste for them and not a waste for us. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. I hear it so many times because I have a lot of moms in my audience, and then I'll bring that up to them. Hey, if you're short on time, like hire a house cleaner or grocery delivery. And the very first thing they say to me more often than not is they say, oh my God, my mother would kill me. Like, because their mother will look at them as a failure because they don't clean their own house. And this goes back to this epigenetic stuff, man. Like, we got to push this stuff out.
Look, man, my wife, when we had our second kid, so now we have 2 kids, she's starting to like not sleep enough. She's starting to get really tired. She would take him to the store and it's like 10 times more work. Like I took him once just myself to see what she's going through. One's hiding in the clothes rack. I can't find where the hell they are. The other one's crying in the stroller. I'm like, oh my God. So I tried to tell her, why don't you hire some help? She's like, I couldn't do that. I'm a mom.
Yeah.
I'm like, I get maybe my mom, maybe you should talk to my mom. My mom worked and I feel like I turned out pretty well. And your mom worked and you turned out pretty well. I'm like, so I don't know where you're getting this. So what I decided to do was go to my wealthiest friends that the women weren't necessarily working, but they still had a nanny.
Sure.
Right. Even if it was part-time, because I had her hear it from them. And by hearing it from them, we hired this girl, Amber, which I could only hope to be half the parent that she was the nanny, dude. She was so focused on our kids and adored our kids. The day she left to go back to Minneapolis, she was in her car bawling and my wife's in the house bawling because we were so connected and she was so great. And you know what it gave? It gave my wife freedom to go do some things for herself, because this was the lesson where I said, hey, quantity doesn't equal quality. And if you're exhausted and bitter, you don't want to be around the kids. You want to actually go take a break, renew and rejuvenate, because the bottom line is kids are a lot of work. Under 4, they're romance and sleep terrorists. I don't see it as a option. We have the cash, let's do it. But some people would never invest in themselves that way because someone else would see them. But guess what? Epigenetic work and recontextualize. Have people understand where you're coming from and just work on your side of the equation. The more we try to let other people dictate what we do in life, we have to recognize one thing. When someone's in scarcity, they're thinking irrationally. And if we succumb to that scarcity, we're now a part of it. So if someone's like, oh, my mom will kill me. I'm like, dude, your mom's in scarcity about that. Get over it.
Exactly.
Get over it.
Exactly.
They're going to love you anyway. You don't have to earn. Like, my message to my kids is you don't have to earn my love. You don't have to earn my love. You have it.
Right.
I could be disappointed. I could be mad. I could be sad about your choices, but I will unconditionally love you and I believe in you. Like, that's the whole message, you know? That's
your only job, man. It's like, you're so right. The wealthiest dude I know, one of my best friends in the world, lives in a different country, and I go and stay with him a couple times a year, and we have a great time. So he's got this big giant house. He has a live-in au pair. He has like a CEO that manages his entire
household.
The whole household and everything. And then he has a live-in au pair that takes care of these 2 kids. And even me at first, because of my program, I was like, well, that's interesting. The kids are kind of with this au pair all day. And then it's like family dinner time. And we're all eating dinner together. The au pair, the kids love this au pair. They still love their parents to death. She's not replacing the parents. It's like this beautiful, like, communal thing that I had never been exposed to. I was like, this is gorgeous. Like, I love this. You know what I mean?
I remember when I got a Bentley, my brother-in-law said, don't you feel guilty? I said, about what? He goes, don't you feel, and like, he's a pretty enlightened cat. Like, he just was being really open with me. He's like, don't you feel like you give that money to charity instead? I said, hey, so let me be really clear about this. It's not an either or. It's not an either or.
Right.
Like, I bought this and, I enjoy driving. I let my employees drive it for date night. Like, it's a daily driver for me. Like, it's kind of fun. I'm like, and I still have 1% of all my revenue that goes towards 2 social missions that are really important to me to pay it forward. And I give my time of those 2. So it didn't preclude that.
Right.
It wasn't if I do this, I can't do that. That's scarcity. Scarcity has us believe there's dilemmas, that there's lose-lose or win-lose scenarios. And look, man, the world believes in this big time. Mm-hmm. Part of it's because I think we're addicted to sports as a country and as a world. And in sports, it's winner versus loser. It's us versus them. But dude, you're into music. Music is not a winner-loser game. Everyone can benefit from music. It's abundant.
Absolutely.
I could listen to the song. We could both love the song. I can learn to play the song. Like, music is so abundant, right?
Yeah.
And people believe that life is a competition. Take what's mine. Get what's mine. Take and get are selfish. They're scarcity. And the real winners in the world are the ones that are giving. They're creating value. And there's so much to be had with that, because velocity means we just keep circulating those dollars. because we've exchanged goods, services, and we get wealthier. And when people can understand that life is not a zero-sum game, that business, yes, there are some businesses that are all about competition, but that businesses that are about collaboration can go a lot further and help a lot more people.
Want to master your money? Want to figure out the things that you could do to improve your finances? Click here and check out more videos like this on Money Matters.